Minecraft. Welp, here it is. You guys didn't even ask for this, but I wanted to make the final one to make this series complete. In this video, I'll be talking about some of the facts and glitches that I talked about in previous videos like this, basically for a recap, and I'll talk about some new facts. But if you're new here, you're probably asking, what is Minecraft Legacy Console Edition? Minecraft Console Edition was a remake developed by Forestplayz Studios, and it was released on multiple platforms over time, like the Xbox 360, the PS3, the PS4, the PS Vita. Basically anything you can think of at that time was possible. However, these remakes of the games would slowly die out one by one, with the Xbox One and Nintendo Switch versions going out first, and their lifespan only lived up until 1.12, which is the World of Color update. Fortunately, most of the ports of the game made it till 1.13, or the Aquatic update. And with the PS4 being the last one to go out, it was shot down on 1.14, other words known as the Village and Pillage update. At this point, it was only the new consoles that had transferred over to Bedrock and stayed there since, which means that 4J was left behind, like nobody even knew about it. But now that you know what Legacy Console Edition is, let's actually get into the glitches and weird things about it. I talked about how mobs would render at different distances depending on how far you are away from the mob. It's really confusing from time to time, but it's understandable. Like, for a weird example, a spider can be rendered up to 80 blocks away. I also talked about while you're using an elytra, crouch without holding a single item and your character can pump its fist out. I also talked about how you can find treasure very easily using the 8-9 chunk coordinate, which you can watch on the short provided. And I also talked about an extra long version of cat, which is known as dog around the world. I also covered a duplication glitch with the chests that can get you a lot of loot pretty easily, a way to x-ray so that way you can find things very easily, and the fact that Forestplayz Studios is still updating their old version of the... I also briefly talked about Knockback in Legacy Edition as it closely resembles 1.9 in Java today, how you can obtain the water block just by pick blocking and scrolling right and breaking the block all at the same time, how you can literally make the Ender Dragon invisible for you, and how you can get infinite diamonds. Remember, these are only the few out of the many I've talked about in my videos, so if you want to go watch them, please do. But now, let's talk about some more. In Legacy Edition, there are items that you can put in your offhand that can change the way you can play, but only one item changes how the scrolling speed works, which is done by scrolling through your hotbar as normal. As you can see, the speed is completely normal when we're switching through the items. The Totem of Undying didn't do it, the arrow didn't do it, nor did the map. It was actually the shield that makes it go really fast. My theory to this is that this is the only item you can technically use while crouching, and in this case, it's obvious. Minecraft as a whole is usual because when you throw a pearl, it obviously gets thrown, but there's always a cooldown. The cooldown lasts for about 1 second, meaning that you can throw 1 pearl per second. However, by throwing the pearl and pausing, waiting for a couple seconds, you can do this more often than you would like, because the cooldown doesn't pause, but the game does. What you are about to see is a pause MLG. No, I'm not even kidding about that. It is done by pausing on the very last frame before you land. However, this is where things can get tricky real fast. If you do it just a little bit too early, then you will have no chance to try again. And if you're late, or if you don't press pause at all, you will fall and die anyways. So if the pause glitch is too hard for you, then just land in the water. In battle minigames, there is sure a lot of hide and seek in this one because there are spots unclosed, meaning that you can get in there and unfortunately get yourself trapped from time to time, meaning that the other player can kill you and win. This is a little hearing test. Listen to what it sounds like when I sprint. The best take I can get on this one is the fact that snows have different layers and sometimes they can glitch out before landing. When sweet berries were added into the game, there was not a death message for the player when they would die via the sweet berries, so it would just say you died. Let's do a little race. In creative mode and in survival mode, the goal is to get to that green hole and fly through. Creative mode is on the left, survival mode is on the right. Seems odd, but it makes a lot of sense actually. Because you see, creative mode was intended for building and all that stuff, so what Forestplayz did, they locked it so that way when you're not sprinting in the air, it's locked to an 8-way circuit, meaning that you can go 8 directions horizontally. And while sprinting, it's probably a 32-way is my best guess. While in survival mode, anything goes. You can clearly see that it's not following the blocks like it should, meaning that it's actually survival. Now what if I told you that as soon as you load into a world, you're actually slower than you are just loaded in completely? Watch this. Once the first input comes in, I'm gonna put another clip of me jumping, but it's fully loaded in. Aw shucks, didn't catch that? Well, how about we do it again, but this time with 5 jumps. Now you better start taking some advice in speedrunning now. Let's talk about the bottle of enchanting. There are 9 squares and I'm gonna throw one of those in each square. And now as we pick them up, you can see that we get all the XP. Now let's try it again, but 3 XP bottles per square. And as you can clearly see, when we try to pick all of them up, only a few of the squares that the XP is supposed to be in are missing. But why, you may ask? Now I before talked about how falling blocks would affect the game, so that way if you place too many that would fall, they wouldn't actually fall. Well, this is where the limitations come back to haunt you, because if you throw too many, the ones that were thrown first obviously get deleted. And just like how jumping can affect how fast you break in any other supported version, Legacy Edition does not have that. And finally, I want to talk about the Tumble Map. The Tumble Map you see around you is a default for each and every single game. You have your basic desert biome, jungle biome, and basically all of the other overworld biomes. But then you have your caves, and then the nether. With the cave being the most interesting because there is 2 chests right next to each other, but they are not converted into double. And there's even another portal that doesn't even work. And finally, the few minor details you might have not even noticed about the game. In Tumble mode, you need 3 to win, no matter how many rounds go by, and when you are 1 away from winning, there is a sparkle effects for the player color. And that the HUD has a little more than just some texture. As you can clearly see, it is just basically some sand. The fact that in older versions of Legacy Edition, end portals can become glitched, making it impossible to beat the seed, even with doors to skeleton not cooperate correctly. A different way in old console edition where the game would autosave, but it would pause the game while doing so. And finally, fishing rods do act where in the first version of the game with some animals above or below you. And well, that's that. And if you want to see more facts and glitches that are in Minecraft, I've put some links to some channels that you can check out in the link in the description. And as a shout out to all those who participated in the video and showed the glitches out to the world, I would like to thank everyone for watching and this community that we built. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, but don't make it your first priority, and we'll see you in the next video.